Hey everybody! Today we've got a really special project here in the shop. It's special for several reasons, so let's check it out. So I'm sure y'all want to see what's in the case, and I'll show you all that, and then we could get into why this is a special project. We got a really nice Guild guitar here. Its strings are completely loose right now because of the particular issue that it has. Let me get this out. I'll tune this up to tension so y'all can hear how it sounds now. I'll tell you why it's special and I'll tell y'all what we got to do to it. Tuned up. That's a nice sounding guitar. Really nice deep tone. But it's really nice. This is a special project, as I said, for several reasons. Because, one, y'all might have seen this video pop up and think, man, more guitar stuff. I've said in my guitar build videos and in the two guitar repair videos that I'm not a luthier. I'm not a trained luthier or nothing. I just started. So I'm taking it really seriously at this point. It's serious enough to where this ain't my guitar. Somebody special. This is my brother's guitar. He's not my biological brother, Adam. You've seen him in many videos. He is family. This is special because this was his dad's. He's talked about it on some of our other videos that we did together that unfortunately he lost his dad, and this is something that he inherited. It's really special. It's a nice Guild guitar. I've looked it up. It's pretty expensive. It has some issues, and luckily I've been hitting the instrument stuff really hard. That's why I haven't had very many videos out lately, is because I've got a couple ukulele builds going on, which those are on pause to work on this. And I'm trying to get better at it before I start doing videos. Adam's had some complaints about intonation maybe being off. Honestly, I don't hear anything wrong with intonation. Everything sounds nice to me. We could check that out, and it shouldn't be a big deal. So aside from the intonation, he suggested perhaps a truss rod adjustment, which, to be honest, I think it does need a slight truss rod adjustment. Every guitar neck has what you call relief, and that's like a little bit of a, if I exaggerate, if you go along the plane of the neck, just a little bit of a dip in there, and a little bit of relief is fine. Usually I think it's preferred, but it's too much. Just a little bit too much. So just a slight truss rod adjustment. He suggested the action down here is too high. It looks really good to me up here, but yeah, it's a little too high down here, so we could look at action. But the action problem is probably associated with the main problem, which is this saddle. I've been watching a ton of Jerry Rosa String Workshop. If you like guitar builds and repair videos, you should check him out. But I was watching a video of his where he was talking about if you have a loose saddle, the string tension will pull that saddle forward, and with it leaning forward, that pressure eventually will crack your bridge in half. And sure enough, this saddle is really leaning forward bad, and there is a hairline crack in there. It's such a fine hairline crack, I think we could get away without tampering with it. Now, because I am such a noob, Adam was a little hesitant letting me take on this project, but the way I laid it out with him was, look, I ain't got to mess with any of the guitar itself. You need a new saddle on there. Let me replace the saddle. And if it doesn't work, damn it, it doesn't work, and we could just take the new saddle out and at least shim up the old one or something. So that made him a lot more comfortable. I got a new saddle. It's a bone saddle, so that should help with the guitar's tone and its sound. It should help it sound better. Let me take the strings off of it so I could bring you in up close so you could see that loose saddle. Alright, I've got the strings really loose again. We're taking those off, and you got to deal with these bridge pins and stuff and unwinding it around the pegs. So this is a trick I learned from Jerry Rosa, where these are old strings. They're kind of yucky now, so I've got some new strings for this. So rather than deal with the fuss, for now we could just cut them, because these are getting thrown in the trash anyways. I never met Adam's biological dad, but these kind of look like they were the strings that came with the guitar because of the way they look wrapped around the tuning pegs, but his dad may just be really good at stringing up guitars. Alright, the strings are taken off and you can see the saddle, and this is the problem. Look how much that moves. That's a big problem, and like I said, when that is leaning forward, it's on the sharp edge, which the strings are pulling down, and so it'll crack your bridge. Apparently, from what I hear, it'll crack your bridge every time. I don't know if you could see it on the camera. My camera really sucks at zooming in. This is about as close as I could get it before it gets blurry. But there's a slight crack here. It goes from about here to here. And then another crack here that goes about the same. I don't think it's a big deal. I could put a little bit of watered down wood glue on there and that would sand off. A really good luthier could probably use CA glue, but I'm not trying to make a mess of Adam's bridge. We'll keep this old saddle just because it's part of his dad's guitar, so I'll put it back in the case. We have a bigger problem. This is the saddle I bought for it. It's a bone saddle. It's rough, so you would still have to do some filing on it and stuff, but this is just it in its rough form. But look at this. Too long, which ain't a big deal to, you know, bring it down to fit in there. Not a problem, but what is a problem is, look at this. That might be even more loose than the original saddle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check at my local music store and see if they have a bone saddle blank. I will go do that. Well, before I go running off to the store, I could do the truss rod adjustment. Like I said, it does get a pretty severe amount of relief. I've heard Jerry call it an underbow. According to him, people don't like it when you call relief an underbow, but he says, you know, relief on a neck is good, but too much is underbow, and it's a bad thing. And I would suggest that any guitar owner, if you think you need to do a truss rod adjustment, just tamper with it, because a lot of people are scared to do it. You just take it really, really easy. Really slight turns. If it doesn't want to turn, then just don't force it, because then you could have problems. But if you could turn it a little bit and just check it, then go ahead. You know, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. It's turning easily, so it was loose. Just turn it a tiny bit and check it. I think one more little turn and it should be about where it should be. Okay, and she's not really wanting to go anymore. So that was about an 1/8 inch turn. Still got some relief in there, but not near as bad as it was. So now, while I do encourage guitar players to not be afraid to mess with your own truss rod, make sure your strings are off first. Don't mess with it. Or even if you don't take your strings off, just loosen them a little bit. That looks a lot better. But just loosen the strings at least. Don't mess with your truss rod under string tension. So you're gonna make a trip. Alright, this is a bone saddle blank. It is thicker than this and the other bone saddle I had. So what I'm gonna do, trace around it. I've got this has got a really fine tip on it. I'm going to sand this down. Sanding it, you can really take a lot off quickly, so you gotta be really careful, but we can do it pretty quickly. At least get it down to a rough. Alright, we're gonna take this really slowly and really careful. And that's why you do it with a super light, teeny tiny touch, so you can get it on there and just kind of finger force it. Alright, so now that I know that this saddle fits in there real nice, I'm trying to make it a compensated saddle like this, and I'm using that to go off of roughly. I'm using an assortment of little sanding blocks and a blade and a file. I'm really just trying stuff to see what's gonna work and what won't. I think the hardest part is getting these two angles, and they look like 45-degree angles in there. So, I mean, what's so hard about that? But it's kind of complicated. That's why this luthier work is good for me, because if there's one thing I need to work on and get good at, it's not so much craftsmanship, it's being patient. But this is going to take me a lot of time just shaping it, getting this shape. This is the process I'm using to get it there, so I'll bring y'all back when I get a little closer. Okay, we aren't done, but I was just putting it on here just to get an idea of how the action is looking, where the strings are sitting, because I need to get some grooves marked for the strings to sit in. Just got a nice sharp pencil that I'm using to mark on either side of the string. And the action on this string is great. The action on pretty much all the rest of them is pretty high, so work some up there and then take some off the bottom on this bass side and leave this side as it is. Since I like taking strings on and off guitar so much, I'll take the strings off and work on that and then test it some more. I've got the saddle sitting about where I want it. The action looks good. Actually, I really like the action on my acoustic guitar, and I went and compared it, and this is like a millimeter lower than that. So before getting it all put back together, I've got some teak oil that I'm just going to use to more just clean it than anything else. It'll just sort of rejuvenate it a little bit. Just make everything nice and neat. One of the keys with that too is as soon as you get some wiped on, wipe it off. Because we're using it just to kind of rejuvenate and just clean up a little bit. You want to wipe it off immediately, otherwise it's going to tack up and the guitar will be kind of sticky. So yeah. It's a good time to clean the headstock too, because you don't have no strings or nothing all up in your way. Well, I'm gonna oil up the whole guitar and then put some strings on it and we'll check it out. Here is the Guild guitar. We got the saddle replaced with a nice bone saddle to eliminate that issue that it was having, because we know it needed one for sure. I'm real happy with how that saddle looks. The truss rod adjustment was one thing, so we did a little adjustment on the truss rod and that came out great. And the high action has now been lowered. To me, it already sounds better. Still new to this stuff, but I've really been enjoying doing it. If you liked and enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe to this channel because I'll probably have more guitar stuff. I want to get some ukuleles built soon for the channel, and some more guitar builds, some more guitar repairs, some more guitar setups. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.